like we're here. Decided to record a video of this game since I was planning to do so sometime or another. So, I don't know, here we are. Heavy Weapon. This is a game from PopCap Games back in the early to mid 2000s. I think it was 2005. This is one of the first games that I played as a child, so alongside a couple of other PopCap games and a couple other miscellaneous ones, it kind of shaped who I am as a person, so it's kind of a nostalgic thing for me, so anyway, not really sure how to preface it, so I don't need your assistance, game. I know how to play you. Let's just get in. It is a combination of a shoot 'em up, and I guess you could say a bullet hell. Might not look like much now, but wait until the later levels. This is only level 1 out of 19, so. You have, obviously, your tank here. Up in the upper left-hand corner, you can see my score, the number of lives I have, and then moving across, you have the map M1, which means I'm on the first level, and the parts of the mega laser that I have completed. Just got another part for it. And then, of course, menu. See there, I've got basically screen wipe nukes. I can have up to 3 of those at a time. They get dropped by that assistance helicopter right there, who, as you can see, also drops shields. You can have up to 3 levels of shields. Currently I'm on the maximum level, which is green. You can go all the way down to red, and then if red is gone, you're without a shield and the next hit kills you. So it is somewhat forgiving as long as you actually have the shields, but generally, it's a good idea to avoid getting hit. Right now I'm at full capacity, which isn't exactly something I need for the twin blade, but meh. They really aren't subtle about things at all in this game, are they? I mean, red star forces. Taking a break there to point out why I was shooting at specific points. It's always nice to be able to disable enemy weapons, isn't it? Victory! 95. I failed. Alright. What would be good for level 2? Probably this one. That's basically it. This is just the game. Proceed, keep getting more upgrades, etc. There are a total of 10 different bosses in the game. You have 9, and those same 9 levels and bosses associated repeat with a higher difficulty, and then you have level 19, which is like final test, final boss, everything, end of the game. And here we have the old Mega Laser, which is an automatic one-hit KO on literally anything in the entire game, excepting bosses, because you literally can't keep it around for long enough to use it on bosses. It's one of only a few weapon types, the other one I believe being literally the nukes, that can destroy the energy pulses fired by certain later enemies, such as the helicopters that will be introduced in the next level. like how lazy you can be when you have homing missiles. You know, it might have been better for me to get the laser, just because it would have been better for dealing with this level's boss. But, I mean, it's not like the battleship is particularly difficult to take down anyway. I don't think it would have atomic tank. PopCap Games has some of the absolute best music I have ever seen in games. That's saying a lot. But I don't know who writes this stuff, and I don't know who it was that actually did the recording and everything, but they are always just so well done. See, there took a hit down to yellow level shields. Now it gets easy. Just kind of line this up here, so that one of the streams is taking down all of the missiles as they launch, and just wait for it. The in-game music in this game is probably some of my favorite out of all games ever. You go over to other PopCap games such as Insaniquarium, and it's just like, oh yes, please, more of this. I think that will be optimal for Petrovakia. Or Petrovakia. I guess it's probably Petrovakia. Anyway, here we are. RPG technical trucks. As you can probably tell by now, every enemy in this game is actually entirely different. You see these blue lads drop 4 bombs at a time. Green ones actually drop laser-guided bombs that will change direction in midair if you go underneath them, making them more likely to hit you. They aren't perfect, of course, but they're a thing. And there be the helicopter lads I was talking about. I physically cannot destroy those bullets like I can with bombs, unless I use a nuke or the mega laser. So they're a bit annoying, but not particularly tough, so you just have to pay attention, as with everything else in this game. I literally only have one control, well, 2 if you count the movement of the mouse, and that is left click to fire. I mean, I can right-click to drop a nuke, but that's less than optimal in this particular situation. Don't want to waste them. But both the vehicle and the cannon will constantly follow your mouse, which means you constantly have to be thinking about not only where you want to move, but also where you want your gun to be aimed. And getting them both to work together at the same time can be somewhat irksome. See, I can stay stationary here by going down at the bottom, but yeah, you get what I mean. Something else you may notice is that enemies tend to come in certain kind of preset groups. Like right now we've got these small single bomb bombers, we've got the laser guided bombers, and we've got the surface to air attack helicopters. Later on it'll switch over to some other group. such as Technical Truck, Useless Prop Plane that literally has no bombs, and slightly larger of the first level bombs. As you can probably tell by how long I've been here, each level is longer than the previous. It's gonna take me a bit to get to the end of this one. This level caused substantial issues for me when I first played this game when I was like 6, but I did end up beating it, so the entire game. It took me a long time, but I did it. Then years later, when I was in, I believe, 8th grade, I decided to reinstall the game just out of nostalgia, and I got to level 17 before I got a full all 3 lives lost game over even once. I don't know if that's going to happen this time because commentary, but I can hope. This kind of indicates the skill difference when you've been gaming for a further 7 years. Thought we were on the boss zone. Not quite. Alright, the old war blimp is here. This guy is super annoying because it's got these roto mines that like kind of half track you, and it freaking spams them out. And then you've got the meteor shower, which is where I tend to use nukes just so that I don't have to deal with that crap. I mean, it's not particularly difficult to avoid. I could do so if I wanted, but that way I just have to apply a bit less effort. Quick refueling stop, and that is the win. As of now, I've actually officially unlocked survival mode. You have to get past level 3 for that, which is... I might do a video on that at some point, but anyway. Looks like it's about time for Dick to strike. These guys, those lads, and these lads are being added this time.
Prepare for battle.
We've got cruise missiles here, we've got ballistic missiles in the background, and we're going to have a pair of new Delta bombs, one of which drops fragmentation bombs. Basically just launch 4 of those there it is. 4 of those energy balls. And one of them drops armored bombs that are slightly harder to destroy than the one-shot normal bombs. But luckily I have flak cannons, which makes this a lot easier. Close to accidentally team killing a lad there, which loses you 2,000 points. I'm not super focused on getting a high score right now, but it's something worth noting for those who are. There you can see those black things are the armored bombs. They aren't any different from the normal ones aside from being very slightly tougher. The boss at the end of this level, Warwicker, is one of my favorite moments in all of gaming. Simply because my father and I actually both played this game at the same time, and while I needed his assistance for several things prior to that, as well as other games, because I was literally 6 years old at the time, don't judge, I am actually the one who figured out how to kill this thing. We were both struggling to get past Dick Destroyka, and then I was just like, what if you did this strategy? It worked. So there you go, random Wave 1 history lesson. help but feel that the Soviet Union, or in this case Red Star, because it's supposed to be ambiguous. Anyway, I can't help but notice that they're really wasting a lot of materials in the shape of those ballistic missiles back there. I mean, think about it. It's like you're going through the effort to have vertical launch ballistic missiles, and you don't even give them a nuclear payload. They're just as powerful as any other bomb in the game. Or, I don't know any other bomb, but they're just as powerful as the standard bomb, just a bit harder to kill because they're huge. But it's like, really? It isn't even worth the cost? I know you're the Soviet Union and all, but geez. Alright. Coming up on the old war wrecker. The annoying thing about some of the bosses in this game is that they come kind of into your field, and if you touch them, it doesn't matter if you have shields, you just flat out die. So if I touch that wrecking ball, that's game over. However, as I said, between my father and I, I'm the one who figured out this little strategy here. You follow the wrecking ball, which in conjunction with the flak cannon and the homing missile, and a bit of patience of course, allows you to take it down. There we go. Another massive waste of Soviet resources, because obviously it's a good idea to use a wrecking ball to take out a tank. Anyway, I think I might just do Zemblemia and then be done, because this wasn't really intended to be a particularly long video. Hambobo Lubia death masks. The new lads here are that helicopter, that bomber, and that blimp.
Prepare for battle.
Oh, look, blimp. Some of the toughest enemies in the game, partially because just raw, literal toughness that's hard to kill, but also the fact that they have two separate bombing points, and then when you do kill them, there's this. I freaking hated this level as a child. I thought it was unbeatable. Okay, 6. See how tough those new helicopters are. Shoot down. Alright, quick rundown of all of the various upgrades I have equipped. You get 1 upgrade point per level. You can go up to 3 levels on any given upgrade, of which there are 6. So, 19 levels, 18 upgrades, it's perfect. Anyway. I have the flak cannons, which are the little circles appearing on my cursor, of course. And those just kind of mean that wherever my mouse just was for a short period of time, there will be explosions there. Which helps fill the sky with a bit more kill everything juice. And of course got my main gun, which is by now all the way up to 4 bullets in the spread shot. Got the homing missiles, which are fairly obvious. I have this orb circling around me, which, yep, just happened. You hear that kind of hiss sound almost, where it devoured that bomb that otherwise would have taken something off of me. Basically, it's a layer of completely indestructible shield, but it only is protecting one direction at a time. As you get more upgrade points into it, you can manage to get up to 3 of those orbs circling around you, but they move slower with each upgrade, which kind of balances them out, honestly, because having 3 of them moving this fast would make you virtually indestructible. And then, of course, the Thunderbolt, which is similar to the homing missile, but it bounces between multiple targets, and unlike the homing missile, can actually hit ground vehicles, whereas the homing missile only goes after planes. I'm assuming it's radar guided. I like how just prehistoric jungle exists in the middle of the Soviet Union for no particular reason. And you've got the deserts of Antagonistan, which is meant to simulate places like Kazakhstan. You've got Kaliningrad, obviously Stalingrad, or Leningrad, depending on which. I honestly don't know for that one. It's a big city. You've got Phrygistan, which is more of, you know, Siberia, but what the heck is this doing here, right? Brachiosaurus in the background there. Because that's normal. I like how Kiki Man there is also there. Are basically the worst of helicopters that it gets. Only time you get something worse that's in helicopter form is a satellite, and that isn't exactly a helicopter now, is it? The main difference being that, unlike the planes, it kind of sticks around instead of just crossing the screen. So that isn't all the way until Kaliningrad, so we don't have to worry about that, because that's level 9. The reason that I hold my fire when I'm using the Mega Laser is that it burns down faster when you're using it. So it's better just to keep the flak up constantly when you're just playing normally, because that way you can start shooting instantly, but with a Mega Laser it's better to save it so that it can last a bit longer. Hello there, Commie Kong. You're a dick. I should not have gone with the flak cannons. I freaking hate this man's dart things that he throws. Commie Kong is another one of those guys that is in the field of the player. So you actually have to avoid his physical form or you get straight up flattened. It's him. There is obviously the previous level of the War Wrecker. You could go with the iBot from level 6, but that doesn't really touch you, it just kind of lightning zaps you and ignores your shields. You've got level 8 with the worm thing, and then the killbot thing on level 9. Jumps around. But anyway, I think that will be that, at least for the first episode, just because, why not, right? Kind of introduce the game. So love the exit messages. Anyway, I might end up making a full playthrough of this game, given that it is, after all, only 19 levels. But that'll be that then. I will see you in the next one.